Cristian Javier is riding the struggle bus, and Bryan Woo has pitched very well. Let's discuss on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5, and a happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Frank Stanfield, joined by Chris the Welsh. Let's start things off with Cristian Javier, who has been hit hard 3 starts in a row. He was at the Texas Rangers on Monday. He lasted 4 1/3 innings, allowed 8 earned runs. And over these last 3 starts, his ERA has jumped from 2.90 to 4.34. Welsh, what do we do with Cristian Javier?
I think the best thing that you could probably do is sit him on your bench and avoid all temptation to put him in that starting lineup when that little green check or whatever it is in the leagues you play on, whatever that looks like, don't put him in because it's messy right now. This last start, slider was all over the place. When it was in the zone, dead center of the zone, and the fastball, it's just not getting it done. It's lost velocity this year. The whiffs are down, and he just doesn't have anything to back up on. Cristian Javier looks broken, and I don't know how it gets fixed at the end of the day because, like we said, we've seen other pitchers that can go to, whether it's Snell going to changeups or guys are moving to curveball. There isn't that. It is just slider. It is just fastball. The fastball shape is worse. It's down in velocity, and the slider is not hitting the points. It's a recipe for disaster. Do you want to give up on a guy like Cristian Javier? I kind of don't, in hope that it can change. This is a guy that's got top 20 SP upside, so I would try to put him on the bench while I can instead of making a big reactionary move.
Yeah, I don't think you can drop him. He was someone who was likely a top 60 pick coming into the season. If you could trade him for top 30 starting pitcher value, I think that's fine, but probably not realistic at this point. I think you're right. The answer is to bench Cristian Javier for now. Let's talk about Bryan Woo, who turned in his first quality start of his career. He was at the Giants. He allowed 2 runs over 6 innings pitched with 7 strikeouts and 15 swinging strikes. This guy is racking up the strikeouts right now. A good swinging strike rate as well. He's up to 71% rostered. And Welsh, I think that number should be higher.
Limousine riding, jet flying, woo! Bryan Woo has been very fun. I believe 4 of his starts now, 7 or more strikeouts, an over 33% K percentage so far in the year. Very maintainable walk percentage. Bryan Woo has been getting it done, and this is another one of these guys. We're talking about, hey, we can change pitches up. This guy did that. Doesn't really throw a cutter. Hasn't been on the year. His last start, 11%. Starts throwing cutters. Variation of sliders. Throwing those variations, keeping hitters off balance, and also, as he was able to do, maintain different points of the zone. Sinker, cutter, fastball. You can go up. You can go down. You can hit both sides. And then you can throw something off speed. That's a really great recipe for good strikeouts. Team context is pretty solid. Just an underrated pitcher overall. So Bryan Woo is definitely someone I want to keep rostering for the rest of the year.
Would you drop someone like Drew Smyly or Julio Teheran to get Bryan Woo on your team?
I would do it with the 4 horsemen up in honor of Ric Flair. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would give them the figure 4 leg lock in an instant to get myself some Bryan Woo.
I don't know, Welsh. I kind of feel like Julio Teheran. He could hold his own a little bit. No.
Nope. Figure 4. I'm making him tap 100% Bryan Woo.
All right, let's wrap up here with
Woo.
Oscar Colas, who is returning to the Chicago White Sox and didn't hit well with the White Sox earlier this season. He got sent down. He was hitting very well in the minors. His last 10 games down there, 357 batting average, 7 home runs, a 1253 OPS there for Oscar Colas. He's 22% rostered. Welsh, what size leagues do you think Oscar Colas should be rostered in moving forward?
I think 12-team, 5 outfielder, that's a pretty easy move you can make right now. 12-team, 3 outfielder, I don't know. I might speculatively try to pick him up. He wasn't hitting against lefties when he was up, but he goes down to the minors, hit almost 290 against righties and over 300 against lefties, put up an over 32% hard hit rate in the minors. These are all pretty good. Hard hit strength, which is a meter that RotoWire puts together, and it looks pretty good. Anything over 30% is on the high frame. I like Oscar Colas. He also lowered his K percentage, went on the ups on walks. So like I said, 5 outfielder, 12, that's easy. 3 outfielder, I still might try to speculate and make that move for Mr. Oscar Colas.
Yep, I agree completely. I think 5 outfielder leagues, you can afford to pick up Oscar Colas right now. 3 outfielder leagues, I think we probably have to see more, see if he plays every day. How does he hit once he returns? You can wait a little bit there, but yeah, certainly in 5 outfielder leagues. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Audacy app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.